Okay, hey everyone. This is the third video that I'm going to do for the walkthrough of my Week in the Life 2021 album. And again, you're going to see I'm going to use the 4x8 album, and I'll likely use that for 2022 as well, because I think it works really great for this project. It's a simple, easy size to work with, and I love how I can use the formula with it. So in 2021, I had success with my 2020 album, which I showed in the last video. And I wanted to see if, using Canva, I could actually document the album and finish the album all within the Week in the Life week itself. And so that was my goal. So I had sort of dabbled around with Week in the Life, getting it into an album in this one. I definitely successfully got things into an album and had the documenting piece down more so than any other piece of this album. And then I was like, okay, so for 2021, still in the middle of we can't go anywhere, I just said I'm going to 100% commit to this Week in the Life project, and I am going to document what's going on and then finish my album all in 1 week. That was my goal. And I did it. And that's why we're here, because I'm going to help you guys do it. So let's take a look inside 2021. So I went all in. I bought the kit from Ali Edwards. And I bought some of the digitals. And I bought the prep day, the Week in the Life prep day. And I was fully committed. So this is the inside of my album for 2021. This is a digital from the prep day. And I printed it out on regular paper. And then adhered it to the inside of the album, and I've had no issues with it peeling or bubbling or anything of the sort. So I love how like you fell all plain Jane on the front and party on the inside. So I created a little pocket here, slipped in a journal card, and then a little pillow tag that says Week in the Life 2021. So definitely enjoying, you can see how much more fun I am having, the freedom I'm having to have more fun with this album. So these were, I think, digitals from the prep day as well. And again, we're starting with a photo of flowers. These were peonies this time that I picked up from Trader Joe's. So love using those. Full page photo. You're going to see a lot of similarities from the 2020 album. You're going to see a lot of similarities in this album because I wanted to take what I liked and what was working and then sort of tweak some of the things that I could maybe elevate or improve. So we have the full page photo. We have the date again. And then we have another full page photo. With the digital overlay here. All this is done in Canva. So we also have a transparency sheet that I had made on my laser printer with the transparency and printed it out. This is super easy again using Canva templates. I put Sunday on one little photo grid, Monday on another one, Tuesday on another one. You know, download it and print it out through my printer. So I'm not printing a full sheet of any of these. All of this fit on one transparency, or maybe two. I'm not really sure now. And then these were rubber. These ones might have been rubber words. They might have been from the previous kit. I'm not really sure about that piece, because sometimes I do go through my stash and I want to use some other things that might work with the look of that I'm trying to go for here. I'm trying to figure out my words. This time I bought the digital version of the kit. So I have the card, But then I didn't have to worry about how I was actually going to get the journaling on the card because I could do everything in Canva. So laid it out, put the journal card in, and then I just started using a lens. And each day I moved this lens. These words will change, but they all ended in ing. So it was kind of a fun way to journal and document what was going on without having to like overthink it. It was quick and simple. So this day for Sunday, it says I'm feeling thankful. I was appreciating talking on the phone with my aunt instead of texting. Enjoying spending the afternoon outside. Noticing that my husband had fixed the wind chime. Watching Lincoln roll around on the grass. Laughing at chocolate powder ending up everywhere after blowing out the candles. So that's like a fun memory that I have. And you'll see how that ties in with probably some of the photos. Cooking pistachio crusted salmon and garlic noodles for dinner, listening to mariachi music and fireworks from neighborhood yards. That often happens in the summer where we live. And savoring everyone being together. So clearly Sunday probably was Mother's Day again, and we were celebrating my daughter's birthday because it happens within the same week of May. So it's kind of neat to have cohesion between all of the albums. If you choose to use the same week from year to year, you can see how things are stay the same, and then how things can change. So on this side of it, I used the today card. You can see I actually stamped the date. Go Kim. And then I just put some bullet points, like things that I wanted to remember. So the journaling in this one is a little bit different. So this one says, loved waking up to the smell of warm baked souffle and breakfast in bed. A nice surprise from Mitch, who is my son. And obviously that will change this year because he no longer lives here. So it's kind of neat that I have that memory to look back on. Loving it when Meg jumps in bed with me just to hang out and chat. Loving that Mitch still hugs me every day. Loving fresh cut peonies and expensive wine. So we have the morning souffle with the breakfast in bed picture. We have my dog rolling around in the grass. And then we have just like the simple like Mother's Day dinner with our salmon and garlic noodles. So 3 photos. That's all I really need to capture that day. And then I added a Avery index tab on the side with these stickers that came, the word phrase stickers that came in the, guessing they came in the kit. I don't have a picture of the kit handy. I should have looked at that, but slid that in the tab there. So I have a easy flip to turn the page. I'm just going to grab some water. Okay, so this is where my journaling came in. And this time I wanted to set up a template that would capture things at a visual glance instead of being so wordy. So I'm going to refer back to, let's see, the difference between how all wordy this is, like you just read all the words, to how much more visually interesting this template is in this album. So I set it up with a place for a photo up the top. And then this was a details card that may have been from the Paisley Press kit, and I modified it. I modified it some to add some blocks and some areas that I wanted to specifically document. So I had a box here where I could insert some icons, and all of these icons were found within Canva. So I didn't have to like look elsewhere on the internet, download them, upload them. Everything's right there. So as long as you're a little bit flexible, I'm pretty sure you can find things in Canva that will work for your pages. I have a spot for the date, date here. And then Trader Joe's, I spent $188.10. The bakery, I spent $40.72, and at Party City, I spent $9.67. So I love having that as opposed to like the actual receipts from all of those 3 places. So probably really never going to look at the full receipt. And as you saw in the first album, it may deteriorate over time, but at least I have, you know, a little snapshot of how much we spent that day. So here, you know, a little summary. She turned 24. So a little summary in the journaling. Some of these parts I didn't fill in, but I do have the temperature for each day. So the high and the low. So it was 79 and 54, and a little icon to say whether it was like fully sunny, cloudy, windy. It probably is not going to rain in May or June, but you could, you know, wherever you are, you could add a rain icon or some other icon if you wanted to. And then I put a heart down here on each square in the journal card, as you'll see. So we go through the album. Okay, so here we are with the full page photo again, and I love the full page photos. When she blew out the candles, this is this chocolate powder that was all over her tiramisu cake, and it went all over everything when she blew out the candles. Like, it was crazy everywhere. So it's just a funny memory. Then we go to Monday, and this is like a random picture of what was going on in the laundry room. And over here, I have my around here words again, and follow the same formula with the today card and what I wrote there. And then back to the three photos. So as comparing it to like this page, let me take it out here, guys. So comparing it to this page from 2020, I'm still keeping sort of the same formula of having 3 photos, but in this case, I axed the title, which allowed me to make these photos bigger, which I appreciated. And then I have a little bit of separation in the template there to as a division, where this one doesn't have the division. And when I noticed when I was looking back between the 2 albums, the photos kind of run together. It's kind of hard to tell where one photo begins and the other one, like where it stops and where it begins. So I think having a little bit of separation makes it a little bit easier to look through the photos. So again, we have a tab and my details card. So stuck a photo up top there. I've got my icons. So, laundry, working, and this is a package. So we must have had like 5 loads of laundry, 8 hours of work, and 2 packages delivered. So, and then my journaling that fit in here. And I try to keep my journaling in that spot. So you kind of have to choose your words. You don't have to be, when you're journaling, you kind of have to figure out how detailed and how specific you want to be to get the story down on paper. So there's a picture of my dog. So full page photo with the title. And you can kind of see here the pattern. So I think if you've watched all through the videos so far, you get the idea of how to make your album cohesive by repeating the elements inside the album. So, just look, I'm in the mirror. I made it in the album, and my shoes made it in the album. Still struggling. I know I need to get more photos of myself, but when I'm documenting the project, I don't really have a lot of active participants in my household that will take photos of me. So this year I'm going to have to get creative with some of the photo positioning, and we'll talk about that in the group, how to get yourself in more of the photos, because that's a priority for me. So we'll work through it together in the group. So another tab, we're just going to go through. Took this photo of me inside the shower, which I kind of like that perspective. So I'm trying to be a little bit more adventurous with the photos I'm taking as well. Being inspired by some of the other people in the Week in the Life community that take amazing photos. And I think, oh, my photos are just kind of average, ordinary, but trying to take what inspires me and be a little bit more playful with the photos. So icon showers, probably takeout, and ordering something on my phone. And you can see the temperatures going up. We had our house painted, which I was super happy about. So now we have no more pumpkin colored house. And this one I decided Wednesday was going to be my Wednesday work day. I was going to get myself in the album, because by Wednesday that's that little hump day of the project, and you want to make sure that you had something else to focus on besides taking more average, ordinary pictures. I'm like, okay, how can I get myself in these photos? So Wednesday, I have a picture of me working at my computer, and it was the lens for the whole day. So my husband was working from home. My daughter was working on, I don't know what she was doing here, either playing games or something. And my son was working from home, because the minute everybody's on lockdown, we're all working from home, we're all staying home. So this is really a picture of what happened that day. Happened probably all week, but it's represented on Wednesday of everybody working on their computer. And it's really funny because my daughter's room doesn't look like this at all anymore. So I love having that photo, even though none of them are looking at me. Still love looking back at these photos. And then instead of putting a photo here, I inserted a journal card to the top part and wrote down my story. This is really interesting because it's current events. Premium gas. The gas station was sold out on May 12th. There was no gas available. And yet I just put gas in my car last week, and I documented that in a different project, and I paid like $71 for a tank of gas, which is still really crazy to me. So these are like crazy times. And it's kind of cool that I have this documented in some way. It's not something that is worthy of its own story necessarily, but when you put the pieces together, it's kind of neat. So then I have myself here, probably trying to do something with this very album. So I've got my ink out. You can see the tabs here that actually are on the edge here. So that's kind of neat. I'm feeling better about looking back on them than I did when I actually took them. So that's something to consider too. I think we're very critical when we take pictures of ourselves. But now looking back on these again, I'm really happy that I do have them in the album, and I'm not worried about whatever it was I saw when I first took the picture. I'm looking at the overall story it tells. And then I decided to document what was happening with COVID at the time, to get it into my album. And it's sort of like an overview. This was something that probably came in an email from the New York Times, and I just copied it and put it into Canva, probably somehow to screenshots or something, and put it into Canva. And I did get a vaccine, and they have the little photo wall. So I did that this probably didn't happen on this very day, but was in that same time frame. And so I wanted to include it into the album. And then these are 2 photos I just pulled from Canva. They are not my photos, but they helped support the whole story that I'm trying to tell here in the album. So we get back to Thursday, and same formula again. Whatever's in that crafting basket. I'm just taking pictures of things around the house. I had ordered some new pillows, so that's a picture of that. And then what was going on inside the cupboard. My daughter works for Starbucks at this point, and these color changing cups had come out. So she's starting to collect different things from Starbucks. And so I tell a little bit about that story. Then we have another full page photo. Just a picture of like a normal around the house. You can kind of see how I've grouped my colors cohesively. That's another thing that I like to do. So it's not so like bright orange with this journal card may not be as cohesive as trying to match the tones together to support. And it kind of blends with the wood tones in this side of the photo. So those are kind of things to keep in mind. So again, we outside food photos. And this one, there's a picture of Allie here. So I want to read what the story is. I was listening to Allie's weekly video message. So this must have been on her YouTube channel. So love that she's in my album, considering she inspired the whole project. Okay, so we have a flip out here. This is Friday, and I was kind of doing, it's not necessarily week in the life of a dog or day in the life of a dog, but kind of like Lincoln's a part of our family, and he's always around us way more than our kids are. Like he just wants to be around you and love you. And so I wanted to feature him in this album. So I actually created a flip out of this one because I had a few more photos that I wanted to use. So this is kind of the story of how we sit outside pretty much every day and play ball with Lincoln. So this is his ball, and we've trained him to retrieve the ball and put it back in a location where we can actually reach it. When he gets a little feisty, he will try to hide the ball in another place, so we go find it. His personality is pretty cute. This is an airborne shot of him trying to catch the ball, and then this is him after, like, play's all done. I'm gonna rest on the furniture just like you do, Mom and Dad. I'm just gonna lay down and pretend I'm a person on the furniture here. So that's that flip out. That adds a little bit of an interactive element to the album this time. And then we have Saturday over here. And like I made some homemade bagels. My husband cut the grass. You can kind of see the evolution of the peonies from the bulbs at the buds at the very first of the week to these big giant blooms by the end of Friday. And we'd gone out. He went cycling. We must have made burgers that night. Like, I can quickly tell what we did the day without having to read through all of the journaling. But the journaling does support all of the photos. So here we have another one of my husband's wild cycling jerseys. So he's always worried. He wants to stand out so he can be seen and nobody hits him. And then I didn't actually end up with a photo here for the last page. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay that it doesn't have anything there. And then I added another transparency, another journal card here, and sort of this tag at the end with our ages on it, and some word art. So the album begins with a tag over here, and it ends with a tag over here. So again, cohesive element to the album. Okay, so I'm going to wrap up this video, and thanks so much for taking this album tour with me, and I will see you guys in the group, and I hope you join me in the Zooms so we can chat together. Thanks, everyone.